Welcome to the Influence Women podcast. I'm your host, Kathleen Cooke, and Global Director. Well, today we have Anna Zielinski, a producer in Hollywood who's done great films. I know you're going to love her as we talk about AI, producing AI with human creativity. Stay tuned for this next Influence Women podcast. Hi, I'm Kathleen Cooke. Welcome to the Influence Women podcast. I'm so thrilled to have you with us today and to have our special guest, Anna Zielinski, with us. She is a producer and a creative and just a all-around gutsy girl out there in the movie filmmaking industry. And let me tell you just a little bit about Anna Zielinski's background. She's been a producer and in the industry for over 15 years, worked for many, many years with Pinnacle Peak Pictures, as well as PureFlix. She's produced podcasts of her own and so many movies, Dancer and the Dame, Hitting the Brakes, Courting Mom and Dad, The Encounter, Sons of Thunder, Redemption, Strong Fathers, Strong Daughters, Nothing is Impossible, Revolution Road, the series, and the God is Not Dead series as well. So on and on and on. I could just read more and more about Anna Zielinski, but I want to get into talking to her because we're going to be talking today about AI and how to use the tools of AI so that you can get going on your career in the work God's called you to do and to create. Welcome, Anna, to the Influence Women podcast today.
Nice to be here again, Kathleen. I like hanging out with you.
Thanks for joining us again. It's always a pleasure to have you on, and you've always been so insightful and brought so much wisdom to the Influence Women community. So let's get right into it on AI today. That's specifically what we're talking about. You've been immersed for so many years in low budget movies, in indie movies, and the challenges that you face because of budgets, basically. You don't have those big $1 trillion budget movies that Hollywood is producing, but you've been able to do it well. And AI has come in to help you do that a little bit. So why is it so essential that we embrace AI, learn how to use the tools, and be able to use them so that we can make movies with excellence today?
Yeah, and I know when we say the term AI, it's a broad statement because what AI are we talking about here? And I always have to make the clarification that what I've been delving into and what's been helping me as a producer is more on the level of the learning machines like ChatGPT, Notebook, Claude. There's a lot going on as far as production that we see. Like this film is completely AI, replacing actors, replacing people along the way. And, I'm not, 100% there yet as far as like, yeah, that's great. I mean, and obviously when we see that bit of content, it's missing that warmth and that heart. Everyone can see it. Everybody knows, and yes, there's some really great. There's some that, at a level where you're like, wow, I didn't even realize that was AI, which then kind of, scares people. And that's kind of where we're at right now, I feel. So I'm glad you and I can have this conversation to kind of clarify how we as women in the industry here can use the tools that I mentioned as ways to be more efficient producers, to really take the time that, all the housekeeping that has to be done, all the tangible things that have to be, the checklist of things that have to be done in pre-production can all be done with these tools that I mentioned efficiently so that you can get to the more human, creative stuff that I still feel like we humans do better, So, and you mentioned, I wish I had a lot of these tools even 2 or 3 years ago, or just really stepped more into that realm, because it would have taken a lot of stress off my plate. To kind of lead into when you're just conceptualizing a project, you have a script and you're trying to figure out, can I do this for this budget? How many days? You're just kind of going through all these steps of just scope. These tools are exceptional for that. Exceptional for that. I'm going to talk more specificity on that as we go along, but I just feel like it's beyond, asking it to, make your list today for, but I just kind of want to open up the minds of all independent filmmakers to these tools to go, hey, there's a lane for this and it's great. And it's, there is a bit of a learning curve. And that's really where I've kind of stepped out, kind of like elevate even more of what I've been trying to do with the producer's desk, which is just giving tips and tricks on making independent film. Well, AI is here to stay, and we need to either align or you just get left behind.
Yep. Well, can you give us an example of a specific tool, AI system that you've used that has helped you recently in producing a project that you were working on? Is there a specific one that was that's kind of stands out in your mind?
Yeah, actually, I'm working in development now with a producer, and ironically, I think they used AI to pitch me the Bible and just kind of spec of the series they wanted to do. So that part was interesting because I was like, okay, they're using AI to do this, but they are more big thinkers, like the EPs, those executive producers. I'm thinking about this idea and it could make a great series. So I was able to take that information and kind of really put it into the system. And so what I've been doing with just simply like with chat, and then I'm experimenting with Claude as well, is it's beyond just dumping the PDF in there. Yes, you can put it in there and go, hey, give me a breakdown or give me a synopsis. What is this script about? And that's great too. That helps us, right? I don't have to read the whole thing. I can go, okay, I can get the gist. But what you can do is I can kind of fine tune AI a little bit with prompts and create like what you call AI agents. So I kind of educate the AI just a little bit more to say, hey, you're going to put your line producer hat on for this one. And I can put a script in there and go, all right, let's do a script breakdown. And I want to see cast. I want to see locations, props, vehicles, makeup, wardrobe. And then I can say, hey, any other big ticket items in here that jump out at you? And that for me is done in like literally 30 seconds. Once you put that prompt in there, it lists in however you want to give it me in a grid, a chart, whatever. And then you're like, oh, okay, now you've got this information that's been extrapolated from that, say that PDF you loaded. And now you can do a lot of analysis. You can really step back and look at that. And that in itself, is something that I don't think a lot of people think to use. And what's nice is that the AI will even prompt you after that to go, hey, do we need to maybe, cost out some of these things, or would you like to do maybe a schedule? So it's guiding you. I always say it's your assistant. It's not here to replace producers. It's here to help us be more efficient and get down to the nitty gritty faster so we can actually do the fun stuff, which is making your movie.
Yeah. And I love how AI is also helping to educate us a little bit more on what are the perimeters of the different jobs that we need from people. What is a line producer? What is a production manager? What is a art director? It's a way of actually educating ourselves. Maybe this is one of those career line jobs that we want to get involved in, not just being an actor or a writer or producer, but there's, if you watch a film scroll at the end of a film, you can see all the many different jobs that people have to do to make a film. And just to work, people want to work on a film. Well, you don't always have to be just the actor or writer or producer, but there's a lot that you can contribute to. So it allows you to kind of learn what does it take to be an art director? What things do I need to know? How can I be a better line director? So it's an educational tool for us in many ways that can allow us then to move forward in the careers we want to do and kind of move out of our fears a little bit too, I think. So often, we have a fear of making a film because we have there's so much you have to know to make a film these days, right? And we can't know it all, but we can ask my buddy Chat a little bit on, what all does a line producer need to know, and how can I look for the best line producer. So it's a great tool in those kind of systems as well.
It is, and I put together this playbook, the AI Producer Playbook, that will provide a link for everyone. You do have to keep in mind that if you're just asking the system these general questions and you don't provide boundaries and rules and certain things, remember, it's just reaching out to the information it has and just kind of pulling it. And sometimes it doesn't always get it right. So that's what's nice about something that's kind of specific to film. Because what I've done, like say with the playbook, is it's done calculations for me based on rates that it's just kind of guesstimating, and it's pulling, there's not specific. So I do find that sometimes it's wrong. And then I have to go, no, actually, these are the rates for union. These are rates for non-union. This is this and this. And it goes, oh, thank you for that. So now you're building and putting that information in. But you're correct. Once you can build the system, you can really have more accurate information. But to what you're saying, yes, I think a lot of times that people want to step out and make their film, they just don't know where to start. And that's why I've kind of made the playbook to kind of structure. It starts with here, and then it goes to this step, and it goes to this step, and it goes to this step. And that gives people confidence. And yes, we'll eventually get there. I'm sure someone's I guess I should try to work on it, create a GPT that's trained for filmmaking, because it's a whole process to do that. Like, you have to teach it. You have to give it all the correct information. But I think the sky's the limit. And what we have right now, even on a preliminary level, is 100% useful to our members here and just getting the conversation started. That's why I'm really excited that when we eventually do the webinar, to kind of just show it, because it's I can talk about it, but then when I show it, there's that aha moment, like, oh, and then you say, I call him Charlie. He'll end up prompting you, and it's just a wonderful, like, little back and forth. Like I said, just an assistant. He's not here to replace you, just to make you better and give you confidence in stepping out there to make your movie.
Yes, so great. And so you mentioned the webinar. We are going to be shooting a webinar with you in the spring of 2026. So Influence Women followers, watch for that with Anna, and know that that's coming forth, and it'll be a great webinar where you can actually learn some hands-on things to help you further your career, further your artistic endeavors as well. And Anna, mention where we can get the producer's playbook while we're talking about that as well. You've produced a great series of programs as well as a book. How could we learn more about that and get a hold of some of those materials?
Yeah. So I go to theproducersdesk.com, and the information's there, but then I also have my YouTube channel at the Producer's Desk as well. And hopefully we can just provide those links when we post here, for the podcast. And just, but yeah, if you go either to my Instagram or, like I said, the website, which is probably the easiest, it's there. And I've also have some free, like, just get you started. Look, I get it. This thing can be very intimidating. And again, the term AI, it is such a broad statement. And I want to just kind of demystify that for our audience here, to say it's not, you need to get on the bandwagon and just start and put your toe in. So I have like a little free, like, if you, like I say, go to my Instagram, and I have it right there, like just a free little taste, a little script breakdown. I help you do. You put the prompt in, and again, when you see it, it really kind of all connects. Like, wow, And then I know I'm going to have 100 questions after we do. They're like, oh my God, can we do this? Can we do that? And I'll be like, yes, you can. You can do all of it. But I love that we can just open the door here.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it helps with workflows, with forms. And I wanted to talk a little bit about SAG signatory forms and compliance with those, because you've worked, as we said, on a lot of low budget indie films, and a lot of our listeners will be starting there. They won't start, at the very top at the $200 million movie budget. You're going to be starting at that really low, budget, raising money, those kind of areas. So those SAG forms can be a little bit challenging, a little bit scary. What have you learned about filling some of those out, and how has AI helped you with that?
Well, actually, with that, I mean, what we can do is kind of like reverse engineer that. So on the producer's desk, I have an episode that takes you through the preliminary application, which gets you into the signatory process. So basically, SAG, Screen Actors Guild, is that if you guys want to actually use a union actor, you have to be SAG signatory. And that all starts with the preliminary information form, which is the hardest thing is just to find the thing on the SAG website. I would love to be able to, like, guys.
Yeah, just finding it. Yes.
You go to like I said, go to my YouTube channel. It is an excellent video, if I say so myself, because I actually walk you through it. But the thing is, and what you're asking here is, if I were to take, because when I was doing the last few projects with SAG, I'm running my budgets. I do everything. So everything we're talking about AI is preliminary setup. So if I needed to know, could I do this movie at an ultra low budget level of, if that's 250,000, mod low, 600, 700, and I don't have those in front of me right now, but that's rough. Low budget is over, $1 million. And these are tiers. So basically, you have to pay union actors X amount of dollars. The lower the tier, the less money you pay that SAG actor. But you don't know the scope of your film. You're not sure, can you afford it? You might know that you have X amount of dollars. You can put those scenarios into AI and flush it out. And once you put those scenarios in, you go, okay, yeah, my movie, it could fit at this budget level. At that point, when you put in your application for SAG, they're going to require a budget. They are going to require the script. So of the schedule, they're going to require you to do a day at a day. So basically they're saying, show me how many days my SAG actors will have to work on this project. So those things could be populated in AI. Now, the SAG budget that's uploaded has to be a top sheet. So I have kind of looked at some of that preliminarily on AI. Like, I would basically have to craft a top sheet and then tell it to fill it in that way. So it's not replacing the fact that you're going to need someone who understands creating a budget to create the budget, because that is something that SAG requires you uploading. So there's not a direct parallel there, but they will ask for a synopsis. They will ask for, obviously you'll have your script. You have your script. That's nothing, AI. I mean, unless you're having AI write your script, we won't get into that. It's a sensitive topic.
Yeah.
As far as like all those boxes you have to check just to become a signatory, those are the main things. And, it'll get to a point where maybe you can modify, you can create that top sheet, and I could probably do it. And if you didn't know movie magic, kind of show how to do that. I haven't had to do that yet because, like I said, as a producer coming up through this thing, I had to learn these skills. And so I did that. So, and that comes back to us women here. You are more empowered when you have the knowledge and the know-how, right? So in this case, yeah, you might need to learn that. If you're really serious filmmaker and you don't have a lot of money, there's a lot of tutorials on movie magic and movie magic scheduling and learning those skills. Hey, YouTube. That's why I love YouTube. You can look up anything on YouTube and learn something. And I've had some people under me that have impressed me and taken the software and watched a few videos and had a sample budget and did it. And could AI support you in that? Absolutely. I'm stuck on this, da, 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 da. It can help you reference like, okay, EP has this video on Entertainment Partners, who owns Movie Magic, has this video, watch this. So absolutely, you can kind of use it to help you navigate and learn all this. But, it's like 35-minute video. So anyone that watches that must be really serious about doing SAG compliance. It's not sexy, but it's informational.
Well, so much about the business is just administration of learning these skills along the way. And you've come up through the ranks, so to speak, or before there was an AI to help you along. And so you know the ins and outs from the root that these forms come from. And but it's always helpful to have someone like you who is knowledgeable, and we're so blessed that you're willing to share your wisdom and knowledge so that we can continue to grow a community of men and women who are changing our culture and changing what we see in our screens through excellence in filmmaking and in other creative endeavors, whether it be music or television or arts in other dimensions, sculpture, painting, dance, fashion. All of those have components of creativity that have to be enhanced, and yet they are a business. I've often said it is the Hollywood business, not just the Hollywood filmmaking community and creativity that goes into your project, but the business of it, and that's really where AI really has helped us today.
Yeah, and you brought business is a nice segue, because I'm teaching actually entertainment business now at Biola. I have my second class there, and I'm loving it. And one of the big questions, because I brought up AI, I feel like it's a topic we have to continue to talk with even our students and the young people, and they're pretty much divided. It's more that people hate it versus love it. But one student asked me, he said, "Hey, do you think it's worth it that I learn how," because I talked about the scheduling. Let's just say it was a simple thing, script breakdowns goes, and then it populates a schedule. And he goes, "Would it be worth it for me to learn how to do that first before I continue forward on, asking the AI to do it?" And I do think there is value there, because remember, AI, it is, it's like Google on crack. Okay. So it is not some all-knowing whatever. It is still extrapolating information that's out there. It's just faster. You have more of you can have conversations with it. You just, it's not like Google, you're just typing, but you can really get a little more, specific and personal with the AI. But the point is, you still have to teach it. There are many times, and you were talking about like the roles of a crew. Well, I've been doing this for 20 years, so I know what everyone does. And then, it will output the roles. And I go, well, that's actually wrong. A grip is this and a gaffer is this. Oh, thank you so much for that. And you'll find that even, in so many ways. So knowing what you don't know is also like learning it is valuable too, because now you're just working in alignment with AI versus it's steering the ship. And it's the one, they've asked like, are we getting dumber because we're not writing our own emails, or we're not thinking of the own responses, like to something that like, you were like, well, what would I say to this? And you just put the question into AI and it goes, this should be like this. I think we should just challenge yourself and just use it as a companion piece. And I think that will help take the fear out of things too, because you can see it's not controlling you, and vice versa. We're just working in tandem and learning together. And I think that's a really great perspective to start embracing as we move forward in this realm of AI as far as
Yes.
what we're talking about, you know.
Yes. I often tell people, most of us have been working with our GPSs, in our cars or on our phones. We know sometimes where we're headed toward or the general address that we're going to. And then all of a sudden, it'll come up with a different way to get there. And you think, no, if I go that way, it's going to take me much longer, or that's way out of the way from where I need to go. And so just having that perspective on how GPS sometimes doesn't get you down the road where you really need to go, in the way that you know from experience, because you've been in that part of the city before, you've been close to that area before, that you have to use your head, you have to use your wisdom and knowledge, and put that in there. And so, I also often heard too recently that AI is being, it's like AI is like fire, they say. That's, that it can burn you, or it can actually make you warm and, help cook your food for you. And that AI is actually the new fire out there. And we're just learning how to use this new fire that we have, and not get burned, and yet being able to use it, to make our lives better, and bring new perspectives and new ways of doing things, and new wisdom into our lives too. So it's kind of fun to look at it that way. We can't be fearful of AI. We have to embrace it. It's here, and so let's learn how to use it, and use it with wisdom. Right?
I'm excited. I'm excited to just continue to educate on this level too, because it's just, the film business is evolving, AI is evolving. We are in the age, this is change happening. And so it's kind of scary and exciting time in our lives right now for us to see this type of, revolution. It almost feels like the
technology. Yeah. The technology.
I feel like when we moved from horses, from buggies and carriages to automobiles, it's that extreme right now, doesn't it? You're like, oh, okay.
It does. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for being with us today, and for kind of wetting our whistle, as my father used to say, on AI today. And we're looking forward to having you teach us more with your group and with our Influence Women members in the spring of 2026. So look for that next webinar, and we're excited what you're going to bring to the table to help us get on down the road and make those films and those artistic endeavors that can really change our culture and change what we're seeing in our screens today. Thanks so much for being with us today, Anna, and we'll see you in spring 2026. And don't forget the producer's handbook that she has, and the work and her YouTube channel. Where can we get that information one more time, Anna?
Yes, it's in my website, real simple, theproducersdesk.com. So go there. It'll guide you around. I have my Instagram link there, my YouTube link, the resources there. So check it out.
Great. Yes, we will. Theproducersdesk.com for sure. Thanks, Anna, for being with us today. It's been a joy. Well, thanks for joining us today for another Influence Women podcast. I'm your host, Kathleen Cooke, and we were thrilled today to be able to host Anna Zielinski as we talked about AI. I hope that her insights will propel you to start your next project. And by the way, if you've liked this program, please like us and share a comment below. We want to hear from you, and it also helps us increase our numbers. So join us each time for the next Influence Women Podcasts, and come join us at influencewomen.org if you're not a member. We want to grow a community of women who are working in media, entertainment, arts, music, and leadership to change what we see on our screens. We'll see you next time.